Hey, it's me, that femboy elf from that video game you really liked as a kid. And today I'm going to be talking about Monalisa Perez, When Family Vlogging Ends in Death. It's a story about clout chasing, when a viral video goes wrong, and a missing person. I made this script in April of 2020. That's crazy because it's been 5 years since you looked at me. But I think Monalisa and Pedro Ruiz's story is still relevant today, serving as a sort of cautionary tale for anyone who wants to do risky things solely for views. I've hardly seen anybody talking about this specific creator at the time of me filming this video, and I want to talk about it, so here I am 5 years later, about to talk about it. But before I start, hi, my name is Nex, and I like to make videos about whatever the hell I want. Most of these videos are about people who are chronically online, including myself and the culture around it. I talk about commentary videos like this one that you're about to watch. I do body mod related videos and the occasional vlog, so if that's your sort of thing, stick around, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see more. Making a family channel seems like a pretty decent way to make money. There are endless amounts of family-themed channels, mommy blogging channels, and so on and so forth, just exploiting children. We have moms choosing to put their young daughters on the internet. We have people torturing their children for clout. We have people exposing themselves as shitty parents on TikTok. We have parents who are obsessed with having children. Family channels that feature children are so popular and can have the potential of earning so much money. All you have to do is exploit your own kids, and you'll be raking it in for the rest of your life. But there is a less insidious type of family channel, and those are couple channels that don't really feature any of their kids. A decade ago, couple prank channels were really popular. Usually start with just couples doing pranks on each other. Then these channels sometimes end up evolving into filming their children. Sometimes these channels stay couple channels, but these couple channels usually end up involving their kids if they have them. I'm sorry I'm saying couple channels so much, I can't help it. With all this being said, this is where our story begins. A seemingly regular couple channel attempting YouTube fame by filming their daily life on the internet. This is the story of Monalisa Perez and Pedro Ruiz. I heard about Monalisa Perez in 2017 when this whole story came to light. A story about a young girl who shot and killed her boyfriend for a YouTube video. I became increasingly curious about who this 19-year-old girl was and why she shot her boyfriend for YouTube. I was a little bit convinced that there was something deeper going on here. So let's explore. I went over to her channel and discovered that she was a family vlogger. All her videos had titles that were pretty clickbaity with stuff like, "He couldn't feel his legs," only for us to watch the video and discover that Pedro had just bumped his leg on something. Clickbaity titles weren't Monalisa's invention. These were really popular, so they continued to make more videos, mostly of them doing pranks on each other and vlogs and a day in a life as a young couple type of videos. Monalisa and Pedro seemed to be wanting to make content with the aim of becoming full-time content creators, so the views did matter to them. In order to be popular, you need natural charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and the subscribers will follow. When Monalisa and Pedro's channel was small, neither of them had much of that. This is just, again, my opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of people did hold the same opinion as mine because before this incident, they didn't really get many views. And Pedro knew this, of course. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but when you're uploading YouTube videos and acting a certain way with lots of clickbaity and untruthful titles, that doesn't bode well in terms of success. And we'll go over the actual incident next, but I'm going to be hardly talking about Pedro Ruiz because he's dead. I'm sure the people who knew him and loved him wouldn't enjoy some random person on the internet talking about him so casually. This isn't me brushing this guy's memory aside. I don't know him, so it's not my job to hold his memory. That's for the people that did know him, and I'm just gonna say, may he rest in peace. I'm going to be talking about the incident. So a little bit of content warning, I'm going to be talking about gun violence. Monalisa was 19 years old and pregnant when she shot and killed Pedro, who was 21. Their family channel was struggling in terms of views, and Pedro wanted to do more in terms of risky stuff. He wanted to create a new YouTube channel called Damn It Boy, which was supposed to feature a video with the incident happening in it. Pedro was quoted as to saying, "My channel is going to consist of a lot of crazy stuff. Entertainment just for you guys. My thing is crazy. With this being my first video, I hope to capture all my audience like that." Before this incident, apparently in the Whisper Challenge video that Pedro and Monalisa recorded, Pedro briefly mentioned he wanted to do this stunt. He also said that he's practiced shooting a book to see if the stunt would be successful. Then on June 26, 2017, when recording the video for his new Damn It Boy series, Pedro makes his intro. "What's up, everybody? It's Damn It Boy." Why did I choose the name? Well, everything I'm going to be showing you on this channel, you guys are going to be saying, "Damn it, boy." My channel is going to consist of a lot of crazy stuff. I'm borderline crazy. My whole thing is I love adrenaline, the pumping, the near-death experience every time I do something. With this being my first video, I hope I capture all of my audience like that. Snaps fingers. I hope that with everything I do, you guys can be hooked on everything I do and just watch until I fail. Then Monalisa takes a .50 caliber Desert Eagle handgun, stands only a foot away from Pedro and the thick encyclopedia over his chest and fires the gun. Monalisa goes inside because her phone was at 1% battery and she plugs it in and calls 911. Pedro died on the way to the hospital. Their 3-year-old daughter at the time watched this all happen, unfortunately. Monalisa was then sentenced to 180 days in jail after she pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter. She is no longer able to own firearms. In her video, titled "Something to Say," she mentioned she couldn't talk about the situation anymore and to respect her privacy. The video of the actual shooting was never released, but the footage from right before Pedro was shot has been released, along with the transcript of the 911 call, the video transcript, and Monalisa recalling the incident after when she's detained. All these transcripts are publicly available. In all of these transcripts that I've looked through, 2 things remain true. One, that Monalisa begged Pedro that she didn't want to do this and for him to reconsider. And 2, that Pedro was willing to die if everything went wrong. You can see, again, in the transcript from the shooting itself, Pedro wanted to do this really badly. And if he fails or dies, he did something that made him happy. And to quote Pedro on the last video, "The point of this video is I just really want to see if a .50 caliber bullet can go through a book. So if I'm going to die, I'm pretty much ready to go to heaven right now. If I die, I'll be ready for Jesus. He probably won't accept me into the pearly gates because of how stupid this is, but I have confidence that my girlfriend will hit the book and not me. Let's do it." Monalisa's comments used to be filled with hate. I'm sure she still gets hate. Everything from calling her a murderer to wishing she'd rot in prison. There's probably DMs with all sorts of stuff calling her all sorts of names that we don't know about. I think putting Monalisa in prison for the rest of her life for this incident is a waste of resources. It's a waste of both her and her children's lives, and it doesn't really make any sense to me. What happened seems to be a mistake and a one-off thing. Some mistakes we make in life are life-changing in ways that are irreversible. I can't imagine how she felt when she shot Pedro and he died. She was 19 and they both had a kid together and she was pregnant with one more. If I died because of a mistake that I made, that was my idea, I wouldn't want my lover to spend the rest of their life guilty and trying not to live their best life. But that's just on me, just based off of like how I love people. With that being With that being said, who is Monalisa Perez now? Monalisa is a mom of 3 and a wife to a man named Tyler, and she is a self-described mogul. She has and had a few small businesses and a podcast. I'm not really sure. It's sort of unclear. She's religious, loves fashion, and seems to support women and women empowerment, even though she doesn't support abortion rights. I don't know if her opinion has changed on that. She hasn't spoken about it. I don't know much else about her other than what she puts on the internet, but I've been checking in on her new stuff, and it's, once again, lacking sauce. In this clip from one of her, newest vlogs, she and her mom are ordering room service for, 2 whole minutes, and it's just a slog. I've noticed this with Monalisa and the way she dresses in films. It's all very aesthetic. But the content in it is just so boring, in my opinion. Usually the people that I gravitate towards watching are, alternative in terms of lifestyle or fashion or both. They usually have, a sense of humor. These Monalisa vlogs are probably not for me. I watched a whole 45-minute video on her channel 3 years ago called What's Your Style? And for me, it was also really boring. She mentioned in a past video that most of these people she interviews in these girl chat videos are here from the church. I'm not sure if she's Christian or Catholic, but I do know for sure that she is a believer in God, which is fine. It's clear that Monalisa wants to make influencing and her businesses her main hustle. In her latest vlog, she says to give her a couple more years before she can buy her mom a nice pair of Prada shoes. And to be honest, I think she has an eye for fashion, but I don't know if vlogging is for her. Alright, so the next section we're going to be talking about is, where is Tyler Weathersby? So I finished the script that the video you're watching right now months ago. I put in here that it's August now, but it's not August anymore. It is September. I find out that Monalisa's current husband is still actively missing. Let's go over it because it doesn't make much sense to me, and I'm assuming after all of Monalisa's stuff, after everything that I've watched on her channel, that she is single, even though she still calls, Tyler her husband because, obviously they haven't divorced because he's missing. On September 9th, 2024, Tyler was reported missing, where he went for a walk at around 7:45 a.m. and left his phone and wallet back at home. In this news video that I watched, he's seen walking off, and Monalisa doesn't seem to be too fazed about it. This was a screenshot that I took in April of 2025 of Monalisa putting up a picture of herself and captioning it as "a quiet weekend, black and white feels, that's it." And this person was like, "Was your boyfriend ever found?" And she says, "A correction, husband, no, we are still searching," which I think is very weird. Oh, Christopher is home. It's Beejuice and Chris. Focus. It's Beeju. So the comments in general on her Instagram regarding Tyler or bringing up Tyler are sort of crazy to me. I'm getting ahead of myself once again. A video I found on TikTok, it's 21 minutes long, from a TikTok account called Where is Tyler Weathersby? I'm just going to summarize it here. Tyler went on a walk the day before he went missing. Monalisa doesn't think that Tyler would harm himself. How Monalisa is talking in this video is a stark contrast to how she talks now and how she carries herself now. How she talks now in her current video, she's super confident. She is trying to carry herself in a way that is sexy and empowering and stuff like that.
What's really going on with you inside in a high profile place when you're going through something like this, and how
Monalisa. You want to know the best feeling in the world? Is when you start getting your personality back. like years and years of like hiding who you really are. And when you start like saying fuck it, it's so attractive. Oh, that's
just the beginning. That's just the beginning.
Again, she could be talking differently because that's how she naturally talks and carries herself, especially when she's talking about something that's really serious. In this video, Monalisa says that she has gotten off of social media because people are accusing her of being involved in a whole Tyler being missing situation. She mentions 15 minutes in that she thinks she's a person in a high-profile place, and that when you're going through something like this, it's different when you're a person in a high-profile place. And she's talking about herself like she's famous, and I think that is very weird because she's definitely not. She's a micro influencer. Also, Tyler was seen talking to someone on a bike, and Monalisa mentions if that person who talked to him knows anything to please speak up and let her know what he said, because a lot of stuff happened in the days before he disappeared. And I think that Monalisa is withholding information. Maybe she's talked about it in private to detectives or whatever. We'll never know. But Tyler is still missing, and that is so fucked. The current content that Monalisa creates on her Instagram, and this is her personal Instagram, mentions nothing about Tyler. The last time she mentioned Tyler was in one or two comments if Tyler was found yet. And then the rest of her content is mostly about women who are in abusive relationships, or like women taking back their freedom, and a lot of stuff about like women being empowered, which is great. Like, I think that content about women empowerment is important. I support women's rights. I find it very weird that she's not talking about Tyler anymore and that he's still missing. The comments, again, on some of her content is very fucking strange. Like this one comment that reads, "Reread the letter I wrote to you. I thought it was very important and positive, but I guess you were in a different mindset, wasting 7 years on that so-called man. Get your education. You could be a PhD by now with people calling you Dr. Monalisa. You have such a lovely spirit. Get a degree in fashion design and stay away from Diddy Eat et al. Types. Shaq has 2 PhDs in education. You are in your brain a lot anyway. May as well formalize it." I don't know. That, like, I'm not sure what this person means. I found this comment really strange. I think that it's safe to say that Tyler and Monalisa's relationship is not a thing anymore.
I just wanted to record a little voiceover because I watched a video from her channel from 6 months ago called Vulnerability. She mentions missing Tyler and their life together and how it's confusing and isolating, and how she doesn't wish a spouse going missing on anybody. She also asked people how they would think that their spouse would feel about people coming to their spouses and accusing them of having something to do with their spouse going missing. I'm saying spouse so much. But in this case, people have been, accusing Monalisa of having something to do with Tyler's going missing. And she talks about it in a video in her vlog. So she does talk about it, and she talks about how she feels about it. She says a lot about religion. Again, this is a God-fearing woman. I just do think that I would have reacted much differently if I was in the same situation as she was, in terms of, like, Chris going missing, God fucking forbid. I just think that it is interesting how she puts this video out, and she mentions it at the very end. I think it was a pretty raw thing to admit, but again, after that, she doesn't really mention Tyler again. until the 1-year anniversary of him going missing, which I will briefly touch on about at the end of this video because there's a little bit of new information. Nothing to do with Tyler being found, which is horrible because he's still missing. Anyways, I'm rambling. All right. How do I stop this thing? Wait, how do I stop this?
Wake, which is their brand together, when I try to click some of the links, the brand website doesn't show up, but they still have Instagrams. They're just not active anymore. I found another Reddit post about Tyler being missing, and it's here. It's called A YouTube Stunt, A Missing Husband, and a Trail of Red Flags. This one is a bit of a rabbit hole. I'll do my best to summarize it, and it's interesting. My friend Tyler Blake Weathersby had been missing for 5 months. He went on a morning walk and never returned. He didn't have his phone or wallet. His wife, Monalisa Perez, posted about it to get people to help search for him and invited people to her house. I went to the morning search the next day, and she wasn't there. They are saying that he was in a mental break/psychosis and that he wanted to do a spiritual 40 days and 40 nights. They were also saying that he was hearing from God to only eat watermelon. I never bought that story. I went to search the same evening. She wasn't there. She never went to any of the searches. She changed the timeline of Tyler going missing too. First, he went walking at 7:45 and never came home. Then video footage shows him walking earlier, so she changed the narrative. Oh, and she murdered her ex-boyfriend with a YouTube stunt gone wrong. They wanted to do... Anyways, I don't know how accurate it is that this guy is actually friends with Tyler, but if this is true, this sounds pretty bad, but for Tyler, and I am going to make assumptions that he started having something go wrong with him in terms of mental health, and he just left, and Monalisa maybe just doesn't care anymore. When writing this script, as I found out that Tyler was missing, and as I was finishing this script, I checked Monalisa's Instagram and found out that she had made an Instagram story post like 11 hours before I found it. And here's that video.
For those of you that do not know, last September, my husband went on a walk and never came home. And this past year has been gut-wrenching, heartbreaking in ways I can't even fully put into words. There have been days and weeks that have felt unbearable. It takes a kind of courage and strength I didn't know I had just to gather myself and keep moving forward. So little by little, I've had to challenge myself, not with huge leaps, but with small intentional steps. Going out for coffee with someone new, starting this Substack, saying yes to moments that push me forward, even when I'd rather hide away. And lately, one of those steps have been this challenge to get dressed, do my hair, and put on makeup every single day for 2 weeks. And I'm not going to lie, every single morning the thought crossed my mind to just stay in my sweats, skip the makeup, and curl up on my couch. But I made a commitment to myself. On the days that felt the hardest, even when the weight of everything made it almost impossible to think about my goals, my business, or my next step, I forced myself 10 times harder to walk into that bathroom, pick an outfit, and get ready. The moment I did, something shifted. I stood taller. I felt more like myself. My focus sharpened. The fog in my head cleared, and I felt ready to work toward the life I'm rebuilding. I found it easier to reach out to people, to schedule coffee dates, to mentor for the first time. I felt hot, I felt sexy, but most importantly, I felt capable, like I could conquer the day in front of me, even if the bigger picture still felt uncertain.
I personally don't know what to say about it. She made a blog post. Here's that screenshot of the blog post. And while I said earlier how I don't think that she should be completely distressed and stop living her life. I just find how she's acting towards this whole situation really fucking weird. Of course, I don't know how she really acts offline, but if my man went missing, like if he disappeared and we still couldn't find him, that would be the main thing that I talked about. Like, I would talk about it all the time. I would, of course, want to live my life because that's how he probably wants me to live my life, but I also would constantly be talking about how he was missing. And I think that it's strange, just in my opinion, that Monalisa doesn't talk about this at all. This could just be like an online thing and she could just be like freaking out. Like, she mentions it briefly in her blog post.
Hello. Oh, whoa. Hello, it's me editing next again. I'm about to show you some footage of an interview with Monalisa a year after Tyler went missing. So like September 3rd. It's October 29th now. But I found this interview and I watched the whole thing. Okay. I watched the whole interview. It's a 21-minute interview on a website called Dakota News Now. You can look it up. There's just like a lot more interviews that Monalisa has been doing. She did this one, and then she did another one with 605 News, another Sue's Fall like news thingy. And now that I've been able to gather my thoughts on who Monalisa is as a person, at least what she shows us on her online presence, she is very, like, performative, in my opinion. She is, like, very, what's the word? Like, full of herself and performative. Just like this interview with the Dakota News Now was so bizarre. Again, she like brings up how she has to move on with her life. Like, this is like the millionth time that she said it. And in the 605 News, I haven't actually listened to like the podcast that 605 has put, but maybe somebody will listen to it and like comment in the comments about what you thought about it, because like I haven't had time to listen to it. I want this video out so that I can like record other videos. But in the clip that she showed, she talked about her experience with Pedro and how like that was a great mistake. And then she talks briefly about, again, Tyler going missing. And it's just like, she says that like Tyler went missing and then everybody immediately like was on her ass about like her being the suspect. And then it's just like, that would be my least concern. Like, that would be the thing that I am not at all worried about. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck if people like, I mean, I can assume that it's easy for me to say that I wouldn't care, but like if she like, I don't know, there's something doesn't add up here. And like, again, Busy has the zoomies, sorry. She seems so like full of herself. And then it mentions in the interview, I'm going to show some of the interview from the Dakota News Now thing. But like, she like mentions she has a course, an e-course for like women now. And it's just like, so like, girl, like, how many things are you trying to do? None of them work. And like, we understand you're like moving on, but you have like children. She has like a 2-year-old by this man, and he's just missing. He's still missing. You're not like being like, I don't know. It's just so fishy to me, the way she acts. Like, of course, it's easy for me to say like that I would act differently, but in my humble opinion, it just is very strange and weird. So I'm going to show the clips now, and then it's going to And then I'm just gonna like continue with the conclusion of this video that I recorded in August. So enjoy. You can comment down below what you thought of this section of the fucking video, because like it's just like a never ending sort of thing where it's just like, oh, Monalisa Perez did an interview about how she just purely needs to move on and like live her life because she just needs to move on and not be depressed about her missing husband, and it's fine. Like, that's so weird to me. Anyways,
I never would have imagined that we would still be here a year later with no answers.
Monalisa Perez says she's finding her way since her husband Tyler Weathersby was last seen near I-29 in Madison in Sioux Falls a year ago. Often a target of accusations on social media and the taunting feelings of abandonment and shame, she chooses joy.
I choose every single day to look through the lens of beauty and finding that light again.
Despite the unknown location of her husband, she's carved out some time for things that help her cope, like thrifting for clothes.
Yes, fashion is definitely an armor for me and always has been. When I'm feeling sad and down, I will put on a good outfit.
A recent photo shoot tells the story of her last year.
Going through so much pain and heartache and rising again and being able to use my voice, because my voice has been so silenced, not just in this season, but throughout my whole life.
She's written an e-course for others to find their voice.
Call it the VEA, so voice, experience, and activate. And we go and we learn together on what those three things mean. And strengths, and I have to continue moving forward and really putting my trust into God. But this has been a very painful season. I like to call it the WTF season, really, really. Oh, it's hard.
So I wrote a bunch of stuff in closing. Most of it, I just moved up the script before I found out about the whole Tyler going missing situation. But I think that the Monalisa and Pedro situation was one of many that serves an important lesson and reminder. It shouldn't have happened. If you are wanting to desperately film a YouTube video solely for the purpose of getting famous, and it could lead to something risky and irreversible, I think that you should reconsider. If you want to be an influencer, don't have any expectations. There are people who will enjoy your content, and if you have that je ne sais quoi, then the views and the followers and the money will follow. Yes, it's a hard job and has a lot of work to initially start being an influencer. This is why people who want to do this for money often quit early. And this is why people whose soul is actually into it are successful most of the time. Sometimes your talents are useful elsewhere. As for Tyler and Monalisa's involvement in him going missing, I literally don't know what's happening. As of today, I put August 20th. September 16th, 2025, which is a whole year and some change after Tyler went missing. There's no news of him being found. There's like a whole bunch of speculation of Monalisa being involved, and I honestly don't know what to believe. Tyler apparently was acting weird the day before and had a fight with his mom, according to a couple Reddit posts, so maybe he had some sort of mental health crisis. I still find it really strange that she's not said anything about it other than about her dropping little hints of being free to be herself and to do her own brand and everything. And although we have so many questions, I think we won't know what truly happened to Tyler until something comes up. So I hope Tyler is found safe and alive. I hope you like this video. I'm so glad to be back making YouTube videos. Please leave a comment below, and if you made it this far and you don't know what to comment, just put like, I don't know, a cat emoji in the comments. Once again, my name is Nex, and I make videos about whatever the hell I want, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!